on the Roxby Downs Indenture Ratification Amendment Bill. Can I first up congratulate the Minister and also all the members of the Select Committee for be able to take all the submissions from the verbal submissions and submissions that we took, and also the written submissions. Can I also indicate that it was great to see the bipartisan support in this chamber here for this indenture support going through, and it's got the opportunity to be able to allow this state to allow not only BHP with the proposed expansion there to other opportunities in the north of our state. As the member for Giles has indicated, I'll just go back a little bit to my history of Roxby Downs and the BHP up there. Back in probably 50 years ago, there was an opportunity. I was an area manager for BP Australia, trapped up the north of South Australia, operating out of Port Augusta. And then I had the great privilege of being able to travel, and this is before mobile phones, before bitumen roads up in that area there, to travel to Roxby Downs Station, Andamuka Station and Purple Downs Station. And that was at that particular point, it was a partnership between Western Mining and BP Australia, looking at the opportunities in that vicinity there. And as been mentioned in this chamber earlier on, there were many drill holes drilled there. And I was coming back from Oodnadatta, coming back through the back tracks, coming through Purple Downs Station, Andamuka Station and Roxby Downs Station, and I saw what looked like an oil rig in the boundary and the distance there. So I went over there and tried to understand what these people were doing, but they were very shy about it and wasn't going to talk about the issue. And then I indicated I was an area manager for BP Australia, and they said, "Oh, we're partners, BP Western Mining." So that was where the drill hit the pay dirt there, and from that day on, this state has never looked back. And I know that at the particular time when it was in this house here, voluntarily before my time in this chamber here, but there was a lot of political disagreements on the opportunity for Roxby Downs to proceed. And I will pay tribute to everybody previously that they allowed this for Western Mining in particular to actually explore that opportunity. As we all know from the history of that there, they sold out and then BHP bought the opportunity there. But certainly this indenture is not only, it needs to be reviewed. The original indenture, in my understanding, was many years old. It needed to be reviewed, and has that been mentioned in this chamber previously today, this is a roadmap, not only for BHP and other opportunities to be able to explore the great opportunities in the north, but also a roadmap for our state. Our state has the greatest untold or underground resources anywhere in the country at the moment. Our superannuation is there. We've got thousands and thousands of billions of dollars worth of superannuation, but it's in the ground. We need to, as a state, as a nation, explore those opportunities and to actually be able to get that out, not only for our economic growth here in South Australia, but also the prosperity of our nation. As I said a bit earlier, I have followed the Roxby Downs growth from the state when I first encountered the drill there. I think it was the 10th drill. I have followed this even before my time in this chamber here, the growth of Roxby Downs and the opportunities there, and the growth and the expansion of BHP, not only for Roxby Downs stations, but also the Oz Minerals and the other opportunities there to where it is today. And we as a nation, we as a state, I don't think we understand the great opportunities and where this will finish up. This indenture allows BHP to have a roadmap going forward to be able to explore further up there. And I hope, as the member for Giles indicated, I hope that the expansion does go ahead, because if this expansion goes ahead, it'll be an opportunity for a great expenditure from BHP internationally. But also the fact is that it will grow. There's about 8,000 workers there at the moment. A lot of them fly in, fly out, but there's a lot of people in Roxby Downs itself who work on the mine and depend on the mine for their opportunities, the contractors. And Roxby Downs has the youngest living population in Australia, in my understanding. There's a lot of young ones up there. So the expansion will not only create the opportunity for expanding the job opportunity there, employment from 8,000 to about 12,000, but it gives the opportunity for the contractors themselves to get more involved in it. And I know that BHP would always try to utilise South Australian-based contractors, but certainly I have been following this for many years. It is intriguing. I hope that I can continue following the growth of the far north of South Australia and Roxby Downs area in particular in the future direction, whether it's in this house here or in my future lifetime in this state here. The opportunities really don't come up very often, and if it wasn't for this Parliament many years ago when there was that lot of political and argy-bargy stuff in here, if that decision wasn't made, where would we be today with Roxby Downs? It may not have been there. And it wasn't for the courage of Western Mining in those days with BP Australia, and also the courage of BHP to actually acquire, take over from Western Mining. If that didn't happen, and if BHP didn't have the tenacity and also the courage to expand, including purchasing Oz Minerals and the other locations up there, goodness knows where we would be today. But so again, congratulations to BHP. The other thing is that this indenture gives us the opportunity to work with not only BHP, but if BHP goes ahead with this project, and I hope, and I'm very confident it will, because we are the capital of the copper capital of the world, and we've got all the resources, we've got all the opportunities. This will allow the opportunity for Northern Water, hopefully, to be the project that the Minister has been progressing and championed for some years. If this expansion goes ahead, then Northern Water goes ahead, and then if that's the case, then that takes all the pressure off the Great Artesian Basin. The Great Artesian Basin has been there for thousands and thousands of years, and I know that BHP have got the ability to be able to draw certain amounts from the Great Artesian Basin, but we've got to look at other opportunities, and I hope that the expansion of BHP in Roxby Downs then allows for the Northern Water project to go ahead, and that helps the Great Artesian Basin, which then helps the pastoralists and things like that up there. But certainly the other opportunity is that we as a nation need to look at our security, our sovereignty about the future of this nation here. We have in this state in particular, we have the vast resources, not only copper, gold, magnetite, all of that. We've got everything here, and we've got everything in our front door here. We as a nation need to look after those places and to make certain we don't rely on overseas people to be able to survive. Our petroleum industry at the moment is a typical example. The Iran war over there is, I think it's actually a wake-up call for the Australian governments and also the state governments to look at what we've got here. We used to have our own oil industries here. We used to have all our oil refineries. We used to have lots and lots of stuff here. We have lost that over the many years. And again, I will commend the Minister in particular for this. He has looking at the big vision. And if we don't look at the opportunities, what we've got, which is underground, if we don't look at opportunities to get that out, value add those opportunities, then in actual fact, this state will go backwards. But certainly, look, this project is a national importance to all of us. As I say, we've got a challenge in Whyalla, we've got a challenge in my own town of Port Pirie, we've got challenges all over the place. We as a nation need to look after those people. Sovereignty is very important, and a lot of people say to me, and I know BHP are not looking for any handouts here, but certain media have asked me, what do you say when governments look after industries and try and support it, specifically with the strangulation of what China's trying to do to some of our smelters across all of the world? Well, we have lost our sovereignty, basically. We need to start looking at that, and we cannot be reliant on one nation overseas. And I said a bit earlier, that has proven very much so now with our oil. Our petroleum has to come. We've got to beg and pick from overseas people to actually bring the oil into Australia. We need to stop doing that. We have untold potentials up there, and again, I see a great future not only for Australia, but I see a great future in South Australia in particular, with all the underground resources, untapped resources. And I think everybody in this house here, we're all here for one reason. Not only for ourselves, but not only for the money the royalties coming into South Australia government, but also for our future generations for employment opportunities. That's very important, because we have all got positions here. We've got a great life, but we've also got to look at the future and our direction and for our future generations. Because if we don't look after our future generations, then in actual fact, we as a nation will be going backwards. Again, can I commend all the members of the Select Committee? Can I commend the Department of Mining and Industry, Energy for their great work? Can I also acknowledge the staff of that were part of the Select Committee? It's okay for the Select Committee to take on board the submissions and things like that, but the staff then have to get it ready, and I'm having a bit of a smirk on my face. They've got a time frame to get that ready, and they have done a good job. That's before the House today, the first sitting this week, and the Minister wanted it is basically in this morning, and I think that there's been lots of bipartisan comments from all sides of the chamber here, and looking forward to the continuation and the passing of this indenture bill here in this House here. Thank you.
Member for Hamburn.